love books, I love crystals, I love t-shirts, and I have an extremely large turtle figurine collection.
A few $1 million in the bank doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you, to me.
This idea of you work hard, you'll make money is absolute bullshit.
I don't make many money decisions that I feel are great. I feel like a lot of them are unfortunate and irritating.
How do you define rich and why? I define rich as being able to afford everything that you need. Having the basics covered so that you're not always thinking about survival, that you've got affordable housing, that you've got food in the cupboard in the fridge, you're able to take care of your health, either routine or in an emergency. I think if you just have those bases covered, then it takes a lot of that stress away and you're free to do other things in your life that you actually really enjoy.
I would define rich as being not only wealthy with an abundance of money, but I would also define it as being able to handle the amount of money you have as well, responsibly as well as correctly in your own lifestyle.
I think the older generation definitely has this mentality of money is everything. And I think the younger generation is figuring out rich means more of a work-life balance, being content internally, maybe being emotionally stable, mentally stable. That I think those are fantastic things. So I think being rich is definitely about how you are also doing internally.
I would define rich as being financially free, yes, but also having your health, having your kids come back to your house during the holidays when they're older. If you don't have your family and your kids around and they don't want to come by, having a few $1 million in the bank doesn't mean anything, to be honest with you, to me.
Do you think anyone can get rich? Of course I do. I feel that anybody has the ability to get rich, just depending on how much knowledge you have in reference to what you want to do to earn your money or what you're going to do when you do earn the money.
I think it's definitely a gimmick. This idea of you work hard, and you'll make money is absolute bullshit. You can work 5 part-time jobs at one go, which is what I did for over a year. And I think I only made $25,000 that year.
Yes, absolutely. We play by the same set of rules and tax advantages as the millionaires and the billionaires. We have the same exact code and rule that they have. Normal people like you and I might not have the discretionary income that they have, but in terms of depreciation in real estate and the power that it has, that's how they all got started.
As far as money, I suppose anybody could, but I think there's a lot of luck involved and or having a great deal of financial backing right from the beginning. Could anyone? Yes. But as far as being rich in the sense of being able to do things you enjoy and not having to worry about any of the basics for survival, I think that is becoming more and more difficult nowadays.
What was your worst money decision? Probably college. College can be a gimmick. I went to one of the best high schools in the country, and they definitely missed the ball saying, hey, go to community college, save a ton of money. You don't need to immediately go out to your dream college or even a SUNY college that is way overpriced for what you're getting.
Joining a golf course. I did love to golf at the time, and it was great. And then you have kids and then you see what it costs per round to go play. The yearly membership cost was $5,500 a year. I just think back at what I could have put into compound interest account, and I don't even want to look at what that number would be today. It was the worst decision I did at the time, but it was the best decision to get out of it at the time.
I can't say that I know of a great money decision that I've made. I don't make many money decisions that I feel are great. I feel like a lot of them are unfortunate and irritating, such as bills or things that I do not want to do with my money. So therefore, I don't think I've had a great money decision because a lot of them are not wanted. They're more or less needed to be made.
Going to culinary school This was a long time ago, and it ended up costing me quite a bit that I don't know if it was actually worth it or not. You know, you can get a degree of that type by not necessarily even going to college. You can just jump right into working in a bakery or working in a restaurant. That was kind of a big detour, and I really regret doing it.
So what is my guilty pleasure when it comes to spending? I like to cook and I like to grill. Meat is not cheap. I have a smoker and I have a Blackstone that I really love to use. So I would say my guilty pleasure is probably buying like really, really good cuts of meat and cooking those up.
I would say books. I love books. I love crystals. I love t-shirts. I have a lot of guilty pleasures. And I have an extremely large turtle figurine collection.
I guess you could say when it comes to spending, I do spend a lot of money on lottery. How much money would I say that I spend a week on scratch offs would have to be about $100 to $150.
I guess going out to eat a lot, that would be it. Like going to a nice restaurant. I used to go to the movie theater a lot, and they had that movie pass thing, but that fell through. It was a really bad business model.
What is the hardest part about managing your finances? We can just buy things at the click of a button, and you can go on Amazon and buy whatever you need. You can go on Walmart and buy whatever you need. So I think the hardest thing is that we're just surrounded by that whole advertising thing and people just wanting you to spend. And when it's in your face all the time, then it's really hard to manage your finances.
They're never the same. They fluctuate too much for me to be able to have a consistent budget. And that's very, very stressful.
Giving into the temptations of driving the latest and greatest or eating at the most expensive restaurant, that kind of thing.
I'm very lucky. I'm just one person looking out for pretty much just myself, my 3 dogs, and a cat. So I am not too stressed out about finances. Unfortunately, if I were to become really sick or something like that, I'm sure I would get really concerned about finances if my finances got eaten up in some really negative situation.
What is the best piece of financial advice that you can give? I would have to say just really ask questions if you need to. I would have to say just gain as much knowledge about budgeting and any type of financial, statements or anything that you can learn about. Just learn about it in reference to how you're going to be handling your own finances.
I would say be frugal. My mentality is if I only want it and I don't need it, genuinely, truly need it in that moment, I don't need to buy it. But if something costs $20, I'll be like, okay, this costs a little under an hour of my life based on my rate that I set. That's how I link spending money, how much time it took me to create that money and earn it.
Pay yourself first. So what I mean by that is once you get your paycheck, assign every dollar a task. So if you get your paycheck, X amount goes to savings, X amount goes to retirement, X amount goes to maybe it's going out to dinner. Give every single dollar a task and pay yourself first. That way you're going to avoid all that bad debt and all that credit card debt.
You do want to think more long term. I think a lot of people spend very impulsively. I think you really need to look at the big picture as far as retirement or just long-term goals as far as getting a house, getting a car, if you're gonna have a child. A lot of those things you really are not prepared for, and nobody's ever 100% prepared, but if you can get your finances in order, that's gonna be a huge help.